Hi, this is Rodley Ortiz from modernecclesia.com, and this is a video walkthrough of how I customize the Boldy premium WordPress theme um, to go from this to this is what we actually use for our church website. So I kind of want to walk you through how to actually do that. Now let me just say on the front end that at the bottom of the video in the text here, I'm actually going to index this by section. There's 8 major sections that I'm going to walk you through. So if you want to skip forward to one of the other sections, just look for the time signature below that. Okay, let's get started, and I want to begin by showing you how to install your own logo into here. So let me just take you to the back end. Well, first let me just say that there is some documentation for the Boldy theme. It's not that great, but if you want to go to it, this is it. If you can see it up there. It's wordpress.site5.net/boldy/doc. It's kind of a beginning step, but it's really not that great. So let me just kind of show you how I customize things. So first and foremost, as you enter the back end of your site, you can go to the Boldy options there, and you'll notice here this is where you actually insert your logo. Now it's really not the most user-friendly way. In a lot of really nice blogs, you can just click and upload it really simply, but here it wants you to enter in a path of where that file is located. So it's a little bit more work, but it's really not that difficult. So what you would do is you would go over here to Media, click on that, and then you basically just add whatever image you want to add. And so here's the one that we added for the for our logo, and you just upload a piece of media, and then after you upload it, it's going to give you the file URL of where it's actually located. So you just basically copy and paste that, and then go back over to the Boldy options, and then you just copy and paste that up there, and then you click Save Changes there, and you're basically good to go. Okay? So that's how to install and upload your logo. Next, we'll move on to how to customize the banner here. All right? So let me take you over to some of my pages. So the banner is basically a page on your site. Now I chose to call mine slider page because in the documentation for Boldy it refers to it as the slider page, so I just kept that. So so just create a page and you can call it whatever you want. And I'm just going to click edit here so you can kind of see a little bit of what's going on inside there. Okay, so basically you just insert any image that you want inside of there. The only thing that you really have to remember is that it has to be 970 by 360. Okay, so 970 by 360. So you can install any image you want, and so you see that I have a series of different images, one right below the other, and then it'll basically give you the look that we have on our church website. They'll just go one right after the other. So that part is pretty basic, and you can associate these different images with different pages, of course. When you upload the file, it'll ask for a link URL, and so that stuff is pretty basic. I think most people should be able to do that, no problem. So that's basically how you install images for the main banner. There's ways to actually tweak the speed of it, but I haven't messed with any of that stuff. I've left everything pretty standard. Okay, let's next move to the banners, the little boxes on the bottom. Okay, how to customize and add these. These are basically separate web, these are basically different pages. So let me actually show you what it looks like on the back end of mine. So I'm going to go over to Pages. Okay, and one of my pages is called New here. So I'm going to click on that to show you. Nope, actually that's the wrong one. Let me go back. Oh, I think it's this one, first time here. Okay, so it's really simple actually. You just install a little image and a little bit of text, and that's basically it. Okay, so this one's for this one I have welcome, and here it is there. I have another one for ready to connect. Let me show you that one real quick. So ready to connect. So you just install whatever image you want in there, and they give you a certain amount of characters or a certain number of words you could type in there. So you just write it in, and you just upload it, and then all you have to do is on the back end. So I'm gonna go over to the Boldy options again, so you can see how to connect them. And I'm going to go down to the homepage settings, if you can see that. This is on the back end here. And it'll basically say, and here for the homepage slider, it'll say what page do you want to associate with your main banner. And so I put, okay, I want the slider page for that. And for the homepage box, it'll say, okay, what's the first homepage box that you want to associate? And so I put, okay, I want to use the first time here one. And then it'll ask you, okay, when people click on there, what link do you want that to take them to? And so you just put whatever link. And so of course on our church website, if someone clicks the read more, or if they click the box there, it'll take them to a page with more information. Okay, and so you're basically creating, two different pages. So that's basically how to install these different boxes over here. You just want to make sure that they have the same dimension, that all of them have the same dimension. But that's basically it. And that's how to install that. Let me move on to how to install a home button. That seems like it would be pretty intuitive, but it's actually not. I kind of had to toy around a little bit on how to do that. So you go over to, let's see, you go to Appearance on the side of the back end there, and you go to Menus. And on the back side here, you have some different, this is how you basically categorize all your different pages that you have. So I basically, you basically add something called the top menu there, and you add it there. And then for the home page, I basically just created a page here with the URL of what would be the home page, and then I just called it home. And then you basically take all the pages that you want and you add them to the menu, and you can just kind of click and drag them wherever you want underneath which ones you want. And by doing that, that'll then give you the subcategories that kind of pop out like that automatically. So I hope that makes sense. It's not it's not too complicated. So that's basically how to create the home button. I had to figure it out a little bit. Now that we're here, I kind of walked through a little bit of how to add the menus. So you basically just add whatever page that you want, and then you add it over here, and then you just stick it in whatever category you want to have. So not really too complicated. Let's move on to how to get rid of the footer that it comes with built in. When you get this theme, it's gonna have this footer there that's a little bit annoying. It says theme brought to you by Site 5, experts in web hosting. Now to get rid of that, you're actually going to have to jump into the CSS on the back end there. So if you go to editor, and you're going to go to your I think it's just the footer area here, And if you look through there, you're going to see a little sentence. I already got rid of mine, but you'll see a little sentence where it basically has that in there. So you can basically just delete that line, and you should be good to go. It's really not too complicated. Now another thing is that I know that I wanted to know was, how can I replace this button? This theme gives you an option of having this thing called a little blurb section, and we have a little blurb on our church website. There I have, join us every Saturday 11 a.m. Find us here. Not a great looking button, but that's what we have so far. So anyhow, the way you change that, it's not the most intuitive thing in the world either, but you basically have to log into your theme using some kind of FTP client. I use CyberDuck. That basically takes care of most of my needs. So log into there, into your FTP client, and go to Boldy and then click on Images, and you're going to see one that's called, it's not the most well, perhaps it is the most interesting name. It's called buttblurb.png. So butt_blurb.png. So what I recommend to you to do, probably the easiest way to do this, is just design your own button, more or less this similar dimensions as this one, and just call it butt_blurb.png, and then you can just basically drop it inside that file, and it'll replace it, and then it'll show up like this. Now on the back end, on the Boldy themes, let me just walk you through all the Boldy themes back there, just kind of from top to bottom, so you guys can get a good look. So there's the path of where my logo is located, and it has an area where you can put in your Twitter username and your Facebook page, and there's the spot to put your LinkedIn as well. There's a place where you can associate which page you want as your main home banner, or the slider page. There's areas where you can associate the different home boxes. Here's the area where you can select if you want to have that blurb or not. You don't have to have it. You can click No. And then this is where you enter in the text of what you want for the blurb. And that's basically it. Now you can also add in a contact page, which is pretty simple. Here's the text that I have for my contact page, but what you actually have to do for the contact page is just go to Pages, and you see that I have a Contact Us page there. And there's actually nothing inside of there at all. But if you turn over to the page attributes to the side, you have some different options. So you can click default template, portfolio, or contact. So for that one, you just click contact, and then it'll basically add in whatever you had in the text on the Boldy options. It'll basically add it into your Contact Us page. So let me show you what ours looks like. It's very simple. It says contact us, have question, comment, concern, would love to hear from you, and then they can send in the information. So those are some of the main areas that I imagine people are probably wondering about. You also have the option of connecting a blog to it, and I think you probably should be able to figure that out. You just add it in there on the back end. And there's of course different widgets that you can add in here. Here we have on the sidebar one for the recent blog posts, and we have a MailChimp mail thing here so that people can subscribe to our church newsletter. And then in the footer here, we just kept things very basic here. We just have our church name, address, and phone number, and that's basically it. So hopefully you've been helped. If you have any questions about how to customize this thing further, just feel free to leave a question in the comments, and I'd be happy to interact with you a little bit more on that. So anyhow, My name is Rodley Ortiz for modernecclesia.com. Thanks.